For years they've been feeding us this beautiful little lie that dating apps are some kind of equal opportunity marketplace. The love of your life is just one swipe away. Yeah, right. Tell that to the guy who's been rubbing his thumb raw against a glass screen for 3 months and has exactly 0 matches to show for it. Let's face it, the economics of dating apps aren't just broken. They were designed by some sadistic marketer who genuinely despises the human race. This isn't a marketplace for love. It's a completely unregulated, Wild West dumpster fire of supply and demand that would give any decent economist a massive heart attack right at their desk. For the average guy, signing up for Tinder or Bumble isn't fun. It's not some lighthearted quest for a soulmate. It is a second shift at an underground coal mine. Hard, exhausting labor with no union and 0 safety guarantees. You get home from your actual job, where they already sucked the life out of you. You sit on the couch, open the app, and your shift begins. You grab your shovel phone and start hacking away at the screen. Swipe, swipe, swipe. You have to shovel through tons, literally megatons, of digital coal just to find one microscopic grain of gold, one single solitary match. And what's the price of that match? You sit there sweating, trying to craft some brilliant, witty, intellectual opener. Because if you just say, "Hey, how's it going?" the algorithm flings you straight into the garbage bin of history. You have to be a stand-up comedian, a Renaissance philosopher, and a financial advisor all at once. You write this masterpiece, you hit send, and what do you get back? Dead silence. Absolute, echoing silence. Your match just sits there like a cheap souvenir she threw in the drawer and forgot about 2 seconds later. You just worked a full shift in the mine, earned $0, got digital black lung, and went to bed convinced that there is something fundamentally wrong with you. But now, let's cross over to the other side of this glorious barricade. What's happening with the women? Oh, it's a completely different tragedy. If a man in the dating world is dying of thirst in a desert, a woman is drowning in a massive flood of toxic, muddy swamp water. Her inbox isn't a place for romantic correspondence. It's a dumpster fire. It's a spam folder that gets hit every 2 seconds with absolute garbage. Imagine opening your front door and a literal ton of junk mail just collapses on your head. Buy a vacuum. Get a quick loan. Enlarge your body parts in 3 days. Hey, beautiful, show me your feet. And somewhere in that massive mountain of digital hazardous waste, she's supposed to find a normal human being. How? You open the app and see 300 messages. 290 of them are either "Hey" from guys who have lost all hope and are typing on autopilot, or some unhinged pickup lines that make you want to call the authorities. A woman on these apps is basically a CEO of a major corporation who just got 5,000 handwritten resumes for a delivery job, and all of them are covered in typos and unsolicited photos she never wanted to see. She just shuts down the app because the sheer stress of sorting through the trash completely outweighs any potential benefit of actually meeting someone. And here's the ultimate punchline. Who actually wins in this scenario? Who is the genius getting filthy rich off our collective desperation? The apps. They designed a system where men are practically forced to buy premium, platinum, super boost, and whatever other digital air they can sell you, just so your profile gets seen on this giant flea market. They literally tell you, "Hey buddy, you've been working in our coal mine for 3 months for free. Want us to give you a slightly nicer shovel? That'll be $15 a month." It's brilliant. They are selling us hope, fully knowing that if you actually find someone and delete the app, they lose a customer. They don't want you to find love. They want you to stay lonely, frustrated, and subscribed. We are willingly participating in an experiment where half the population is working as unpaid content moderators, and the other half is working as spammers nobody wants to hear from. And then we wonder why, After just 1 week on these apps, you want to drive out into the middle of the woods, hug a tree, and never speak to another human being again. And now, look at the next level of this technological madness. We've become so incredibly lazy and socially impotent that we actually decided to delegate the very heart of human connection, flirting, to computer algorithms. Yes, you heard that right. Right now, artificial intelligence is the hot new trend as a dating co-pilot. People are literally using AI chatbots to write their messages in these apps. I mean, picture this surreal theater of the absurd. A guy is sitting on his couch, scratching his head, too lazy to even strain his brain cells to write a basic compliment. He copies the girl's profile bio, pastes it into a chatbot, and says, "Write me something smart, witty, and intellectually stimulating." The AI generates this flawless, polished, syntactically perfect sentence. He copies it, hits send. But the girl on the other end of the screen wasn't born yesterday. She has the exact same autoresponder app installed. Her AI reads his message, analyzes his personality type, does a semantic breakdown, and spits back an equally fake, perfectly balanced reply. Do you understand what is happening here? You have two pieces of silicon flirting with each other on a server rack in California. Two massive supercomputers are burning megawatts of electricity, overheating their microchips to entertain each other, while two completely empty, brain-dead meat sacks just stare at their screens, waiting for a finished result. And then, these servers finally agree on a date. They set the time, the place, optimize the logistics, and the moment of truth arrives. These two actually show up at the restaurant. They sit across from each other at the table. The waiter brings the menus, lights a candle. Romance is in the air. And then this heavy, paralyzing, dead silence hits. Why? Because their actual brains had absolutely nothing to do with those masterpieces of humor and charisma they were texting back and forth. They don't know how to speak. They don't know how to hold eye contact. They don't have a built-in algorithm telling them where to put their hands. So what do? They pull out their phones, lay them on the table, and start frantically typing under the table. My AI assistant. She just asked about my childhood. What do I say so I don't sound like a psychopath? And they both just sit there, staring silently at their screens, while two bots continue to have a conversation on their behalf. We automated love. We decided that the most important, fragile part of the human experience, that awkward, clumsy, genuine moment when your palms sweat and you stammer some complete nonsense, was just too much work. We replaced it with a flawless but completely dead simulation. And the scariest part is we actually believe this is progress. We built a world where machines love each other, and humans just work for them as delivery couriers to transport bodies to the date. And as soon as this whole market turned into a digital dumpster fire of simulations, they crawled out of the woodwork. The dating coaches, the ultimate parasites of the modern digital age, the snake oil salesman of your personal life's technical support. Entire armies of 20-year-old clowns on TikTok and Instagram wearing rented suits, looking dead into the camera and telling you how to live. They took corporate buzzwords and cheap marketing tactics and stretched them over human relationships. Now, they aren't teaching you how to be a human being. They are teaching you how to warm up a lead. Seriously, they actually use that phrase. To them, a woman is not a living creature with feelings and a brain. She is a cold client who needs to be dragged down into your sales funnel. They draw these stupid charts, build strategies, and sell $200 courses where the ultimate secret to success is just basic manipulation. They give you these highly specific scripts. Don't reply to her first message for 3 hours to create an artificial scarcity of your resource. On the second message, give her a light compliment but immediately criticize her shoes to lower her self-esteem and boost your conversion rate. And on the third message, say this exact sentence and she's yours. It is literal phishing. It is the exact same thing scammers do when they send you emails pretending to be your bank, asking for your credit card password. Except here, you are being taught to hack another person's psyche. And the funniest part is that thousands of lonely, desperate people are actually buying these courses. They take notes, sit there with their little journals, and memorize sales scripts like they're getting a job at a call center selling vacuum cleaners over the phone. We have completely replaced sincerity with manipulation. These dating coaches have convinced an entire generation that relationships are not about mutual understanding, but about who can outplay whom and who can show the most indifference first. You look at these tips and realize that if you actually follow their schemes, you might get a date, but the person sitting across from you won't be talking to you. They'll be talking to your perfectly optimized advertising campaign. It is marketing for the spiritually bankrupt, where instead of building real value, you are taught how to beautifully package empty space. As a result, we have a society where everyone is trying to sell themselves at a premium using cheap tricks, and nobody even remembers that love is supposed to be a total, beautiful chaos that can't be calculated by any business plan. And of course, all of this marketing circus and AI flirting has led to the absolute worst casualty of all. We have completely, utterly destroyed serendipity, real, living, unpredictable chance. We have become social invalids who are physically incapable of making the slightest human connection without the protective shield of a smartphone screen. How did it used to work? You'd meet someone on the subway, in line at the bakery, where you'd literally bump shoulders with someone on the street, drop your papers, start apologizing, laugh about it, and boom, 5 years later, you're choosing wallpaper for your hallway. That was the magic of the moment, life happening in real time. Now, try walking up to a girl in the supermarket by the cheese aisle. Just picture this scene. You see an attractive girl picking out Parmesan, you walk up, and in normal human English, you say, "Hey, excuse me, which cheese is better for pasta?" Do you know what happens in her brain at that exact microsecond? A full-blown air raid siren goes off. She looks at you with the kind of sheer terror usually reserved for someone who just pulled an axe or a medieval torture device out of their coat. You can read a single desperate question in her eyes. Where is your screen, you psychopath? Why are you speaking to me with your mouth in real life? She takes a step back, clutches her purse, and starts scanning the room for security, because any sign of raw, unplanned, real-world initiative in today's world is treated like a federal crime, or at the very least, a severe psychiatric episode. We don't know how to interact without a middleman anymore. We need an app to first confirm that we both consent to visual contact, then show us a mutual match, then drag us through 3 circles of texting hell, and only then, maybe, we might allow ourselves to be in the same room. We are so terrified of rejection in real life that we willingly locked ourselves in these digital cages. If someone ignores you on an app, it sucks, but it's manageable. You just swipe to the next one. But if you get rejected in reality, right to your face, next to the Parmesan, that is instant mental death. That is the absolute collapse of your entire universe. So we sit in our corners like terrified animals, waiting for the algorithm to give us a green light. We lost our ability to be surprised. We lost the courage to be foolish and just walk up to people. We turned the world into a sterile zone where every single step has to be calculated, documented, and approved by a server, and without it, we are just a bunch of frightened, lonely souls who are too afraid to even look up from our stupid screens. And here we are, staring right into the final stage of this digital masochism, complete, total, soul-crushing emotional burnout. This is a unique psychological state that in its sheer stupidity can only be compared to a fly spending hours slamming its head against a window pane right next to an open door. Anyone who has ever touched these apps knows this classic life cycle. It always starts with a sudden moment of clarity. You've been sitting there, swiping through profiles for 3 hours straight, your thumb moving left and right on autopilot, your eyes glazed over, your brain completely offline. You aren't even looking at faces anymore, you're just evaluating color patterns. And suddenly, some leftover scrap of human dignity wakes up inside you. Diversification, lower risk, long-term growth. It's simple, and it works. In fact, I've repeatedly recommended low-cost index funds for most investors. You step outside, take a deep breath of fresh air, look at the sun, and convince yourself that your life is finally back on track. 1 day passes, 2 days pass. On the third day, Saturday night rolls around. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. You're sitting in your kitchen in your underwear, and the apartment is so quiet you can hear your neighbor's refrigerator humming through the wall. You're holding a half-empty bottle of warm, flat beer, and some mind-numbing home renovation show is playing on TV with the mute button on. And that's when it hits you. Ugh. This cold, sticky, suffocating loneliness starts creeping up your throat. You look at your phone. It's just sitting there on the table, clean, quiet. Not a single notification. And your inner low-life junkie starts in your ear. Come on, just check it. What's the harm? Maybe someone new joined while you were gone. Just one quick look and we'll delete it right after, I promise. And you, utterly despising yourself, feeling a wave of intense shame and disgust at your own weakness. Oh, open the App Store and download that poison all over again. And your inner low-life junkie starts in your ear. Come on, just check it. What's the harm? Maybe someone new joined while you were gone. Just one quick look, and we'll delete it right after, I promise. And you, utterly despising yourself, feeling a wave of intense shame and disgust at your own weakness, open the App Store and download that poison all over again. Theoretical chance of hitting the jackpot and buying a yacht? Here, you are losing your time, your self-esteem, your sanity, and whatever faith you had left in humanity. And what do you get in return? Another hit of cheap, synthetic dopamine from a random mutual match that will never lead to anything. The developers of these apps don't hire the world's best neuroscientists and psychiatrists to help you find love and be happy. They hire them to keep you hooked on that screen for as long as possible so you never leave. They built the perfect digital prison, complete with bright buttons and satisfying noises, where you are both the inmate and the abusive warden. We willingly became hostages to a system that feeds us the illusion of choice while robbing us of real life. And the worst part is, the next time you delete that app in a fit of rage, deep down in your soul, you already know that your warm beer on the kitchen counter at 2 in the morning is going to be waiting for you.